चलें।
हेलो।
जी
आवाज आ रही है?
जी बिल्कुल आ रही है।
We are now live on YouTube already. Shazib, you can start after 3 minutes.
ओके।
Hello Shazib, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम and good evening, everyone. This is Syed Mohammad Shazib, Assistant Manager Marketing, HSEQ Professional. Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. This is Syed Mohammad Shazib, Assistant Manager Marketing, HSEQ Professional. HSEQ Professional is a US based firm having head office in Texas, USA, and the regional office in Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, providing consultancy and other training technical services throughout the globe. A very warm welcome to in this webinar, which is Environmental Management for Business. This standard deals with environmental management for business and getting demands in organizational sector who wants to improve themselves with some international guidelines. You can write your question on YouTube chat column on webinar WhatsApp group during the webinar, and we will note down and ask the trainer end of the webinar your questions. There is an exam, and in the end of the webinar, the participant will get the certificate from HSCQ Professional USA. Only top 10 candidate will get free certificate with 100% marks and accurate time, which is 15 minutes. Please note that exam received after 15 minutes, then those will not be entertained. Our trainer, he is our senior trainer and consultant and currently working in world class organization on different environmental projects. Now, let's formally start the webinar, and I would request Mr. Imran to start the webinar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shazib. Hello, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the webinar. I'm here with you today to discuss environmental management for business. My name is Imran Sharif, and you can find my profile here. This webinar will cover environmental management system, environmental aspect and impact identification. We will cover cleaner production, resource efficiency and conservation, pollution control, closing the loop known as circular economy. It's a very brief webinar about environmental management for business, and we will discuss all these topics in detail during training session. As you know that our planet is facing a lot of environmental problems, and business is one of the topmost contributors to this problem. With rapid advancement and industrialization in the last century, environmental quality has significantly deteriorated. And major environmental issues include climate change. I hope you all know about it. It is a hot topic these days. And acid rain, extremely harmful. Natural resource depletion, lowered biodiversity, ozone layer is depleting, deforestation, air pollution kills millions of people every year, water pollution, and waste production. But better environmental management practices by the business play a major role in addressing these problems. Business is influenced by external pressures like customers, regulators, NGOs, and internal pressure from various stakeholders, including employees and board members, to run the business in socially responsible manner. So, increasing number of companies have taken steps to manage their environmental aspect and produce reports on their environmental performance. In recent years, green business concept, sustainability, environmental management, and ISO 14001 have gained significant attention among the corporate giants, and they have taken positive steps successfully. You must have observed more and more companies greening their business these days. Environmental management system. One of the best ways to manage environmental performance is by implementation of Environment Management System ISO 14001. What is an EMS? Please write in the comment box and I will check your comments and I will respond to your comments. Please write in the comments box, what is an EMS? What do you think? Any answers? Environmental management system is the continual improvement cycle of activities that an organization takes to meet its environmental obligations. This is the standard definition of environment management system. By implementing environment management system, an organization can identify its significant environmental aspects and can manage them. Just like hazard analysis and risk assessment study in occupational health and safety, we perform identification of environmental aspect and impact exercise. What are the environmental aspects? Basically, elements of the activities of an organization that interact with the environment or the environmental aspects and effects of these aspects on the environment, whether adverse or beneficial, wholly or partially, are called environmental impacts. We will discuss environmental aspects and impacts in coming slides. So how do you think EMS is going to benefit your organization? Enhanced regulatory compliance. There is requirement to comply with legal and other applicable requirements in ISO 14001. Identification of cost-saving environmental opportunities is a selling point in the global market as it is becoming a mandatory requirement. Reduced risk and liability, improved public, customer, and shareholder relations, and may be required by the customers. Many customers are getting aware and are interested in environmentally responsible companies and their products. These are a few benefits of EMS. With ISO standard, we must discuss PDCA cycle as well. The plan, do, check, and act cycle is a 4-step model for carrying out change. This cycle has no end. The PDCA cycle should be repeated again and again for continuous improvement. It is also known as Deming cycle, and it was made popular by Dr. Edward Deming, who is considered to be the father of modern quality control. Now, I have a question from participants. In the comments, please write the name of any standard which is based on PDCA cycle, besides EMS ISO 14001. Please write in the comments. I did not get any answer. Basically, international standards, ISO 9001, 14001, ISO 45001, all are based on PDCA cycle. Environmental policy is the top tier document of environment management system. Actually, is top management's commitment to the protection of environment, including prevention of pollution, to fulfill compliance obligations and commitment to continued improvement of the EMS to enhance environmental performance. This policy should be documented, implemented, maintained, and communicated and publicly available. This is a standard requirement. Normally, company policies are not made publicly available, but this requirement is specifically for EMS ISO 14001. This is a glimpse of complete ISO 14001 2015 standard. There are 10 sections of this standard, and as we discussed that it is based on PDCA cycle and has 4 phases. We will discuss the complete ISO 14001 2015 standard in detail in the training session. With the implementation of ISO 14001 2015, these are the aspects of improved efficiency. First of all, pollution will be controlled, the primary purpose. Resources will be efficiently utilized. There will be improved process management. There will be recycling and reuse of materials, improved contractor management, and you will benefit from energy efficiency. These are a few examples. As we discussed, elements of the activities of the organization that interact with the environment are environmental aspects. These are important environmental aspects, and you can pick from these prompts. For example, air emissions, and those may be planned or fugitive, solid waste, wastewater, those may be from point sources and non-point sources, water use, energy use, chemical use, and noise are a few examples. You must be carrying out environmental monitoring in your company, both internal and third-party monitorings. Generally, these monitorings include ambient air quality monitoring, in which you monitor parameters like oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen, carbon, particulate matter, and heavy metals. And similarly, you monitor air emissions from stack and vehicles. From stack, generally you monitor parameters like oxides of sulfur, nitrogen, carbon, particulate matter, and smoke. You monitor physical, chemical, and biological parameters of wastewater, noise level monitoring, and noise mapping. When we talk about solid waste management, it requires evidence of safe waste management, including disposal, recycle, or use. Similarly, we monitor chemical usage, water use, and energy use. This is a very emerging concept. What is sustainability? I want answers from your side. What is sustainability? Please. I'm checking the comments box. The concept of sustainability is composed of three pillars: economic, environmental, and social, also known as profit, planet, and people. By definition, sustainability is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Sustainability is the important part of corporate ethics these days. And sustainability in business generally addresses two main categories: the effect of business on the environment and the effect of business has on society. The goal of sustainable business strategy is to make a positive impact on these areas. When companies fail to assume responsibility, the opposite can happen, leading to issues like environmental degradation, inequality, and social injustice. To develop more sustainable societies, industries need to better understand how to respond to environmental, economic, and social challenges and transform industrial behavior. So I have a question. What is purpose of the organization, or what used to be the purpose of the organization? Any answers, please? Making profits and increasing shareholder profits used to be the purpose of the most of the organizations. But for companies to thrive for the long-term purpose and sustainability must go hand in hand. Consumers, regulators, civil society, and capital markets will and already are demanding it. This is a shared value opportunity. It means do well, do good. Do well mean make money. Do good means solve social and environmental problems. So do well and do good goes together. The purpose of the organization can be based on this shared value opportunity. So do well and do good. I hope you all know about what is sustainable economic value. I will discuss sustainable social value, and sustainable environmental value. Sustainable social value includes poverty alleviation, social justice, equality, and wages. Even there is a question on the big differences of salaries and wages of different cadres in the same organization. Community development, it does not mean installing a single drinking water treatment plant, rather playing a greater role in community development. Basically, I'm not against small moves, but greater role matters. Similarly, long-term employment, secure and meaningful livelihoods, labor standards and practices. Many organizations only consider these labor standards and practices in their social compliances. Code of conduct, career development, health and safety and diversity. For your kind of information, sustainability addresses health and safety as well, and it comes under the umbrella of the social component. Just a moment. What is greenwashing? Do you know what is greenwashing? This is a very important question. You must know about this question. I'm seeking answers from your side. So we are talking about greenwashing. Greenwashing is when a company or organization spends more time and money on marketing themselves as environmental friendly than on minimizing their environmental impact. It is a deceitful advertising gimmick intended to mislead consumers who prefer to buy goods and services from environmentally conscious brands. So, as you know, many companies are engaged in greenwashing, rather playing a greater role in sustainability. We should promote companies which are playing the part in sustainability campaign. There are some drivers to corporate sustainability. First of all, proactive leadership. Proactive leaders know the importance of sustainability and they are taking measures before a problem hit their organization. Moral and ethical obligation. More and more companies are conscious about their moral and ethical obligations, reputation of the organization, risk management, enhancement of corporate image. Sustainability plays an important role in enhancement of corporate image these days. New laws and regulation, exploring new markets. All reputed brands are doing business with environmentally and socially responsible companies. There are increasing requirements from banks and insurance companies, and that is also a main driver for corporate sustainability. These are a few examples. This is a very important topic. Corporate sustainability strategies. There are different corporate sustainability strategies being followed by different organizations around the world, including eco-efficiency, beyond compliance leadership, eco-branding, and environmental cost leadership. Eco-efficiency means doing more with less, using environmental resources more efficiently in economic processes. A large number of companies follow this strategy, and you can find so many examples around. Second is beyond compliance leadership, working beyond compliance requirements, implementing ISO 14001 EMS and reporting against GRI standards. This strategy is also very popular and many companies around the world are following this strategy. Number three is eco-branding. Eco-branding is a market instrument which helps both companies and consumers achieving sustainable goals and contributing to environmental protection. It is also known as green transformation of brands. This strategy is becoming very popular these days, and companies like Coca-Cola, Unilever, Nestle, and so many large organizations are following this strategy. Number four is environmental cost leadership. It is innovation to produce lowest environmental impact products with lower costs. In growing competition, many companies are producing lowest environmental products with lower costs. I will share examples in circular economy section. Let's talk about cleaner production. The concept of integrated environmental prevention is known by several names of very similar meaning, and you must have heard about these like minimization, reduction at source, pollution prevention, cleaner production, eco-efficiency. It- Basically, cleaner production is an environmental management option, which in addition has proved to be the stage prior to correct treatment or disposal alternatives. Just like environmental management and EMS, it has so many benefits, not only for environment, but also for quality, safety, and food safety as well. Unlike end-of-pipe treatments, pollution prevention at source can be applied to the different stages of the productive processes in most industrial processes. Different environmental strategies include passive environmental strategies, which includes dilute and disperse. This environmental strategy was famous in 1970s, and even many organizations follow these practices today, but it is considered to be unethical and illegal in many cultures now. Number second is reactive environmental strategies. These are end-of-pipe treatments and on-site recycling. Apart from dilute and disperse strategy in 1970s, reactive approaches of waste management, including end-of-pipe approach and on-site recycling strategy were introduced, which consider the main challenges of 21st century, for example, effluent treatment plant, air pollution control technologies like electrostatic precipitators, fabric filters, biofilters, scrubbers, and selective catalytic reduction systems. And recycling plant or recycling line within your facility is also an example of reactive approach. What are proactive environmental strategies? Basically, cleaner production strategy is a proactive environmental strategy, which includes good housekeeping. It is also good for quality management, occupational health and safety management, and food safety management. Input substitution, it means changing raw materials and replacing it with more environmental friendly one. Better process control. By better process control, your product will conform to the requirements and less waste will be generated. You can modify your equipments. New improved technology coming day by day. On-site recycling and reuse, new product modification, and using energy efficiently are examples of proactive environmental strategies. There is a new trend known as circular economy. Simply in circular economy, there is no waste for landfill. Every waste can be converted into useful products and materials. A circular economy is an alternate to traditional linear economy in which we use the resources as much as possible, extract maximum value from them, then recover and regenerate the materials at the end of life. So there is no waste. This way we close the loop and no waste left. Please concentrate on right part of this figure. Here you can see parts are being manufactured from raw materials, and from raw materials, products are being manufactured. It goes to service provider. From service provider, it goes to user. After energy recovery, it goes to landfill. This is the model in general linear economy. Whereas in circular economy, there is no waste. Product is maintained and reused, recycled, and refurbished, and no waste is left. The leftover is basically recycled to make useful materials, and it closes the loop. So nothing goes as waste. Circular economy examples. For example, converting used clothes into useful fibers. There are many companies now, even in developed world, unlike textile sector, which is mainly in developing world. It is an indication that world is getting conscious about sustainability, producing batteries which are 99% recyclable. Companies like Excite Technologies and so many other companies are producing these batteries. And there are companies making shoes from used tires, for example, Timberland company, and there are companies turning wastewater into fertilizer. It was the last slide of today's webinar. I hope you have enjoyed this webinar. This is simply a glimpse of environmental management for business, and we will discuss each of these topics in detail during training session. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, you can ask me now.
Thank you so much for the attending this webinar and taking the interest. Now it's time to ask your question with the trainer. Please ask your question. You can write your question on YouTube chat column or webinar WhatsApp group during the webinar. Mr. Imran, you there?
Yes.
One question. What about the ASH?
Can you please write in my chat box?
I already write down one question.
Okay, okay. Let me check. Basically, the question is, are EIA included in ISO 14001? Basically, environmental impact assessment is assessment before the commencement of any project, any development project. Basically, we check the environmental impacts of that project, and we find out mitigation measures to minimize them to acceptable level. This may be or may not be part of ISO 14001, but if I mean it's required by law, now then you have to go through this process. Please explain air emissions planned, air emissions fugitive. Basically, air emissions which are from definite sources, planned sources are planned air emissions, and which have no definite source or planned source are fugitive emissions. For example, planned air emissions come from a stack, from a vehicle exhaust, and such examples. And if there you can see a cotton dust in a textile factory, that is a fugitive emission. That is not a planned emission. I have received a few more questions. Which pollution control strategy is better for SME organizations? Basically, you are talking about environmental strategy. Regardless of the size of organization, proactive environmental strategies are best. And you may call it cleaner production, pollution prevention, or eco-efficiency, whichever you like. One more question. What are main environmental objectives for an organization? Okay. There may be different environmental objectives for an organization. Objectives are the goals that you would like to meet in future. Similarly, you can set environmental objectives, and some examples include, for example, comply with applicable environmental laws is an objective, and you can set a target for it. For example, 100% compliance by December 2020. And the other objective can be certification of environment management system ISO 14001, and you can have a target certification by December 2020. Similarly, reduced water use, reduction in water consumption by 5% can be a target, or any target you like. And you can have a date at the end of year, at the end of quarter. You can set the environmental objectives of broader scope. I mean, for example, you can set safeguard the environment for the future generations. This is a broader scope objective, and you can divide into sub-objectives and can set targets for each individual objective. So these are a few examples. One more question. Can EMS be integrated with IMS? I think your question should be, can EMS be integrated with QMS? Because IMS is when compatible systems combine to form one system. Generally, the systems are integrated based on their system modules, and all the compatible standards can be integrated. And this way, quality management system certification can be done together with EMS, occupational health and safety management system, and food safety management system. So thank you very much for your time. Hope to see you all in the training session. Over to Mr. Anusuddin Khan and Mr. Shazib now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Imran. Now, this is at the end of the question. Once, thank you everyone for attending the webinar. We will now be sharing the exam link in the group of webinar. You will 15 minutes to solve this exam and submit. Only top 10 candidate will get free certificate with 100 marks and accurate time. Those who will be doing the exam within 20 minutes and have 50 more than 50%, then they can apply for paid certificate, which will be issued from HSCQ Professional USA, and the cost is USD 15. If you will get 15% above an exam, so can get the certificate and attend with a minimum payment for USD $15. Good luck for exam and see you soon in the next webinar training. Please provide your feedback on our Facebook page and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel for more informative resources. Good night.